The fire hissed softly beneath the moonlit sky, casting wavering shadows over the makeshift shelter of Camp Polaris, nestled deep within the Aronian Mountains. This was no ordinary survival outpost. It was a clandestine refuge known only to a select few, where fugitives, former soldiers, and the ghosts of history came to vanish. People arrived with secrets, and they departed, leaving those secrets buried. Damien hadn't anticipated caring. He had come to this place to flee everything. The battlefield, the deceit of government commands, and the haunting image of his younger brother lost on a mission that should never have occurred. All he desired was quiet, solitude, and invisibility. But then she appeared. No one knew her true identity. She was called only Vesper, the woman behind the obsidian mask, a full-face metal visage crafted cold and sharp like winter steel. She never removed it, not to eat, not to sleep, not even when the midday sun scorched the mountain air. Vesper was lethal with a blade and even deadlier with her words. She spoke seldom, but when she did, people listened, especially Damien. They had been paired on a supply raid to a nearby town, an unofficial, unsanctioned operation. That night, when bullets tore through the air and 2 men fell, Vesper saved Damien with swift precision and chilling calm. She eliminated the threat and dragged him to safety. After that, he couldn't stop watching her. Whispers circulated among the camp. Some claimed she was a spy. Others believed she was a runaway noble. A few even thought she wasn't human. But Damien noticed the tremble in her fingers when she thought no one observed, the way she touched the edge of her mask as if it was both her prison and her shield. She was concealing something, not only from them but from herself. They spent more time together, chopping firewood, planning missions, or simply sitting in silence. In those moments, something blossomed, fragile, like a flower growing from ashes. Then came the betrayal. A man from Camp Garrick sold their location to bounty hunters. They arrived under the cover of night, relentless and methodical. Gunfire shattered the mountain's stillness, tents were set aflame, and screams pierced the chaos. Damien found himself dragging Vesper through the smoke, blood seeping from a wound in her side, a bullet meant for him. "No," he whispered, desperate. No, stay with me." He carried her out of the carnage into the woods. They collapsed in a concealed grove far enough from camp to be safe, but perhaps too distant for rescue. Beneath the shadow of ancient trees and a blood-orange moon, she lay in his arms, her breathing ragged, her skin cold, her mask stained crimson. "I didn't want it to end like this," she murmured, voice faint behind the mask. "Don't say that," Damien choked, pressing his hand against her wound. "We'll find help. You'll survive. You have to survive." She reached up with trembling fingers and brushed his cheek. "You deserve the truth." "Save your strength," he urged, voice breaking. "No, listen." She pulled her hand down to the mask's edge. "Take this off, and you'll finally see who I really am." He hesitated. This moment was sacred and terrifying. The mask had become a part of her. Removing it felt like unveiling a mystery too vast to comprehend. Her hand covered his, guiding him. With shaking fingers, he touched the cool metal and slowly lifted it. What he saw stole the air from his lungs. She was beautiful, more radiant than he had ever imagined. But it wasn't her beauty that stunned him. It was the scar running from her brow to her temple, the eyes. Haunting, familiar, full of pain. It was her face, the one he had glimpsed years ago in a classified file. A mission gone wrong, a target meant to be eliminated. "Ariel," he whispered. "You were the girl from the Visari compound," he said. She nodded slowly, tears mingling with blood. "You spared me that day. I ran, I hid, I wore this mask so no one would know." Damien felt the world shift. He remembered that mission. He had been younger then, ordered to execute a group of suspected insurgents. He couldn't pull the trigger, not when he saw the girl, wounded, terrified, innocent. "I thought I was weak," he said. "You were human," she replied softly. "That moment saved me, but it cost me everything. My family, they were gone. I thought I'd never trust again, never feel anything again." "And now," he asked, tears in his eyes. "I felt it with you," she said. "You made me believe again." "Then don't leave," he pleaded. "Stay, fight." But her head was already falling back, her breath slowing. "Promise me," she whispered. "Tell them I wasn't just a mask, I was more." "You are," he said, kissing her forehead. "You are so much more." She smiled faintly, and then she was gone. They buried her in the grove the next morning. Damien lingered by her grave for hours, the mask resting on a carved stone. The wind whispered through the trees, and for the first time in years, he wept. Not from guilt, but from loss. Campolaris would never be the same. The war might never end, but her story, the true story, would endure. He would make certain of it, and in quiet moments, when the fire crackled and shadows flickered, he sometimes felt her presence beside him. Not as a mystery anymore, but as a memory, a truth. He would whisper to the wind, "I know who you really are."